Hi, I'm Phil and welcome to the latest edition of STIHL SHOP Ellerslie's Tech Time. Today's questions is on fuel. The reason why I say questions is because we've had a lot of questions about fuel and a lot of problems that can go wrong with them. So hopefully today we can cover all of those for you. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to take out petrol. The petrol we have here is nice and fresh. The recommendation and what we generally turn over in the workshop here is it lasts for a week. With fuel it can go off and that's what can cause problems to your machine, and that's one of the questions we've had is why this is doing it. So yes, fuel does go off. The recommendation is in 6 weeks you probably need to be looking at tipping it out. If we don't put fresh fuel in, we have damage we can do to like our primer bulbs here. It can split them. Also our diaphragms and our carburetors, they become very stiff, and also our fuel line, it can just snap them in half. So it needs to be nice, clean, fresh fuel. So now we've got our petrol sorted, we now need to mix it up. So to mix it, all STIHL petrol machines run on a 50:1 mix. So it's a very lean mix. So the 50:1 mix is 20 mils of 2-stroke oil to 1 litre of our petrol. So when we are mixing it, we recommend that you use the STIHL oils, and they do have the 2 types of oils. We have the standard HP oil here, and then we have the Ultra HP. The recommendation is obviously the Ultra HP, purely because it's a far superior oil. For your contractors who are using the machines under heavy load and they get quite hot, the oil is going to help you benefit from that. Fully synthetic oil, so it's definitely the best way to go. The other advantage that I see to it is you look at the colour of the oil to the colour of the petrol. You can see that it is actually going to show into it, but if you take the HP for instance, very similar colour, and when you do mix them it does look like it's got no oil in it at all. You can only feel the residue of the oil inside the petrol when it's mixed to tell the difference. So definitely the way to go is the Ultra HP, and as I said, that's a 50:1 mix. To mix it with the bottle, you can see we have a measuring container on the side here. By simply squeezing it, what we will do is we will mix up 1 litre of it for you, just to show you how it does happen. So to do that now, I'm going to take this container here. We're going to pour 1 litre of our 91 fresh fuel into it, like so. Okay, now we're going to take our 1 litre. So I've just squeezed it up to the first notch there, and now I'm pouring it into my container. So you can see it's not an awful lot of oil going in there, so it must be of good quality. And now we just give it a good mix. So that there is our 50:1 mix. As you can see there's oil in there, totally different to when we're using our standard HP. The other alternative is obviously to go to our motor mix. The advantage of the motor mix is this is pre-mixed with our Ultra HP with fuel. The fuel inside here, as we were talking about before, that the fuel will go off. It won't in this. It will, once the container's open, it will take 2 years for the petrol to go off, so there is that advantage of that. So the motor mix is obviously a lot more expensive to buy, but what price do you put on saving your machine? If we don't get the mixture right, so if we have not enough oil in it, what we'll do is we'll seize our machine, and we'll show you now is Ian is going to take an FS38, he's going to start it up with straight petrol and he's going to run it until it seizes.
In this segment of the video you'll see an FS38 being run with no 2-stroke at all in the fuel. You'll also be able to hear the physical effects of having no 2-stroke in your fuel. Also now Phil will actually demonstrate what it actually does to the machine.
Thanks Ian for that. Now obviously that machine took a wee while to seize, so normally what you will find is when you do put straight fuel in it, you'll get the scoring will start almost instantly. So we call it like semi-seizing when you get your small scoring on the piston, but when it is fully seized, there is severe scoring on the piston. So what I've got here, this is a brand new piston, and you can see it's all nice and shiny and new, whereas the other piston I have here with the cylinder, this is the one that Ian had in his machine, and you can see severe scoring in it. So if we don't get our oil mixture right, this is what happens. If it's straight fuel, this is what happens. If we put too much oil in it, it's obviously not, this is not going to happen to it, but you will get fouling of the plug, as well as, you know, obviously your machine's going to smoke a lot. If we don't put enough oil into it, we're going to get the semi-seizing, so you won't see as many scratches on it, which we call scoring, but what will eventually happen is with the scoring on it, the machine will lose power, it'll lose compression, and then the longevity of the machine is not going to be as high as it should be. So it is a very, very lean mix, so must be right. So 50:1 is what it needs to be. As we said, the measuring is all there. Make sure your fuel's right, and 100%, if you're not sure, then why not use the motor mix, because that just eliminates everything. The other thing that we need to point out too is for the domestic use on the Ultra and the motor mix, you'll double your warranty on your machine, so that's how much faith we have in the oils in this product. In summary, with the fuels, so we talked about our fuel we purchased from our service station. It needs to be nice and fresh. Yeah, it doesn't need to be, we don't want it sitting around for months. Yeah, so we sorted that out. We've got our 2-stroke oils, we've got our HP, but just remember it is the same color as our fuel and not going to give us the protection as what the Ultra is. So the Ultra is the way to go with our nice fresh fuel, but otherwise definitely look at the motor mix, because the motor mix is a fantastic option. So I hope that's covered all your questions that you sent to us. Fuel is a big part of what goes on in our workshop. To be fair, most of the jobs that come in, it's the issues are fuel related. So I hope this helps, and we look forward to catch up with you next time.